Welcome to this body scan meditation. Taking time to find a comfortable place where you can lie down without being disturbed for the duration of this practice. This could be the floor, the sofa, or even your bed. Bringing along anything that might help you be comfortable, such as a yoga mat, a blanket, a towel, or even a pillow for under your head or your knees. Taking time to settle in now, laying on your back. Your legs can be outstretched if that's comfortable for you, and your hands down by your side. If you have any lower back issues or need to make any adjustments, if you're experiencing any pain, being sure to listen to your body during this practice and making any adjustments that might be needed. And as we're settling in, remembering that the idea with this practice is to remain awake and alert. So if you think that you might fall asleep, perhaps taking steps to prop your head up a bit or open your eyes from time to time. It can also help to listen to the sound of the voice. But really bringing a feeling of curiosity and friendliness to the practice. Perhaps even considering it as a new experience, even if you've done something similar before. And taking the opportunity to explore what it's like to be in the being mode rather than the doing mode. And bringing an attitude of cultivating awareness and not necessarily trying to have a particular outcome such as relaxation or clearing of the mind. And now, bringing our awareness to the body, feeling the contact points of our body with the floor. Perhaps feeling the backs of the feet, the legs, the buttocks, parts of the back and the shoulders, as well as the hands and the arms that are resting. And finally, the back of the head. Really bringing attention to the entire body as a whole. And taking a moment to notice if you can recognize or feel any sensations in the body. This could be tingling, temperature, perhaps even feeling the airflow in the room. What do you notice? Perhaps you're even feeling a bit restless, and that's something very normal. If this is happening for you, taking note of that wandering mind bringing out to your awareness any thoughts you might be having related to that restlessness. Or perhaps even your mind is racing, perhaps from activities earlier today or things you will be planning for the future. And recognizing that this is a normal part of body scan meditation and any practice of mindfulness. And approaching these moments of mind wandering with friendliness and gentleness towards yourself. Allowing yourself to simply note the experience. And then bringing yourself back to the practice as many times as may be needed. So taking a moment now to bring your attention to the abdomen. And how does that feel, that area of the body? Perhaps feeling the breath as it comes in and out. You'd be welcome at this moment if you feel it might be helpful to place the hands on the belly. And notice perhaps the rising and falling with each inhalation and exhalation. Perhaps even tracing the breath as it comes in through the nostrils or the mouth, travels its way down in the body, and then makes its way back up and out. And noticing how your breath feels for you today, in this moment. And if your mind has wandered, taking note that your mind has wandered, and then inviting yourself to come back to the attention of the breath. And as we bring our awareness to the breath, remembering that there's no right or wrong way to be doing this practice. No right or wrong way to be breathing. Really bringing an attitude of acceptance for what is in this moment. Noticing how you feel in this moment in your body. And remembering that if at any point you're experiencing pain, you have some choice. Perhaps simply bringing your attention to that area and just giving it some time and attention. Perhaps even imagining bringing the breath into that particular spot. Maybe the inhale, bringing in the breath. And then exhaling, letting that go. And doing that a few times. Or you can also just simply bring your attention to another part of your body. Perhaps the part of the body that we're focusing on at this point in the body scan. And then notice what that does for that feeling of pain, if anything. So really bringing a beginner's mind to the practice where it's a bit of an exploration to see what is for you in every moment. And as we bring our attention back to the belly and back to the breath, letting go now of that area and really bringing our attention and almost imagining the breath traveling down the left leg all the way down to the foot. Really breathing and bringing your attention to this area of the left foot. Starting with the big toe and the little toe and all the toes in between. Noticing if there are any sensations that come, perhaps coldness, or maybe even it's difficult to feel your toes. Not striving to create something that's not there, but just bringing that awareness to that area of the body and seeing what is, feeling, and bringing your attention now into the rest of the left foot, the front and the back and the heel, and moving now towards the ankle. And as we let go of our attention to the foot, bringing our attention into the lower leg, and maybe even up towards the knee. Sensing and feeling. Noticing if there's anything different as you move into the upper leg from the lower leg. Really trying to be with any body sensations. And now bringing the attention into the buttock. Noticing any difference here, any physical sensation. And then moving your attention up into the hip, releasing the attention on the leg. Noticing if there's anything here. How does it feel? And remembering that if there's any pain, that you have a number of choices of how you can respond to that pain. Remembering that this is not an exercise in enduring, but rather noticing and experimenting with where we place our attention. So really noticing now the entire left leg as a whole, as one unit, as one region of the body. How does that leg feel compared to the right leg? Do you notice any difference? And if you don't, that's okay. There's no right or wrong here. And now bringing our attention to the right leg, all the way down to the foot, and now to the toes on the right foot. Noticing the big toe and the little toe and all the other toes in between. Bringing your awareness to any physical sensations here. Perhaps even noticing a feeling of contact amongst the toes. Or perhaps there's no particular sensation at all. And then bringing the attention now into the rest of the foot. That right foot, the front, and the back, and the heel. And really noticing anything with the right foot. And it can take some time to be able to recognize sensations in different areas of our body. You can also experiment a bit with visualizing or bringing the breath from the lungs, and as it comes into our body, you can even imagine bringing the breath into the area of the body that we are currently focusing on. See if that makes a difference for you. Now bringing the attention into the right ankle, letting go of the foot. And noticing anything in particular here. Moving into the lower right leg. Really just exploring and seeing what's there, feeling and sensing. Having an open sense of curiosity. As we move now into the knee and up now into the upper leg of the right side. Bringing our attention now into the right hip. How does that feel? Are you noticing anything? And really now sensing the entire leg and the hip, all the way from the toes of the right leg, all the way up the leg to the hip. And noticing how this feels to connect all of those parts together as one unit, as one whole. What kinds of sensations, if any, are you feeling here? And when you're ready, on an out breath, letting go of any focus or attention on that right side. And taking a moment to really now consider the lower body as one unit, both toes, feet, ankles, legs, hips. How do you feel? What do you notice? And letting go of that part of the body now. Bringing our attention into the pelvic region. Are there any particular feelings or things that you notice here? This can also include the lower back region and even the abdomen now. You can kindly bring your attention to this area, which might be gently rising and falling. And remembering that we're here in this moment, and there's nothing that needs to change from what is. And if your mind has wandered, as minds often do, approaching this with an attitude of acceptance and remembering how to bring your attention back into the breath and back into the body. Really taking the opportunity to be in this moment. Really connecting with the breath as it is in the body. And now bringing our attention into the middle back and the front part of the body, the ribs and the chest, and even the upper back as well. And really taking time to be in a mode of self-care. And if you're experiencing any tension or any uncomfortable feelings or even emotions or thoughts, knowing that this is part of our human experience and that there's no need to want something different in this moment. So being aware of any thoughts that might be wishing for something or even feeling a regret or a judgment. And instead perhaps inviting a sense of acceptance. And bringing our attention now into the entire middle body region as one whole. How is that feeling now in this moment? Maybe even taking an in-breath and on the exhale, letting go of our attention on that area. And focusing now on the hands and the arms. Bringing our attention into the fingers and the thumbs as they're resting here beside the body, or perhaps they're on your belly. And taking some time to feel if there's anything you notice in your fingertips. Perhaps you notice a difference in temperature. Maybe even a difference between the left side and the right side. And trying to have a sense of awareness of both sides of the body now. The fingers and the palm of the hand, the back of the hands. What do you notice? And bringing the focus of awareness up now into the wrists and the lower arms. And now into the elbows. And moving into the upper part of the arms. And finally now up into the shoulders, the backs and the fronts of the shoulders. Perhaps you might even feel the contact point of the back of your shoulders with the surface beneath you. And really noticing now the arms and the hands and the shoulders really together as one whole, all the way from the fingertips up to the shoulders. And how does this body part, this area feel? If you notice that your mind is wandering, just gently bringing it back to the upper body and being kind with yourself. Not judging or criticizing, but just knowing that this is something that happens for many and for most when practicing mindfulness or meditation. Just bringing your attention back into the body and the breath. And now bringing our awareness and our attention into the neck. And recognizing the connection with our upper body as well as to our head. And even bringing your spotlight of awareness now into the back of the head, as you may feel it resting on the surface beneath. Is there anything you notice with your neck or the back of your head? Perhaps this was an area of your body that you weren't paying attention to before. And how does it feel to bring some awareness there now? And now moving the attention up to the top of the head and down also the sides of the head to the ears. Perhaps even noticing the sound of my voice. And remembering the connection with the breath. Bringing attention to the forehead, down the face to the eyebrows and the eyes. And what do you notice with the eyes? Do you see some differences in light? Are your eyes closed or are they open? And then now down the cheeks, the nose, into the lips and the mouth, and the tongue and the jaw and the chin. Has anything changed with your face, do you think? Do you feel? Even bringing attention to this area now, what do you notice? And if your mind has wandered, gently bringing it back to this body scan and to your breath. And really noticing for the face how it's feeling in this moment. What do you notice? And now breathing into and connecting the face with the entire head and neck. Everything together there as a whole. And letting go on your next exhale to this area of the body. And connecting everything together now. From the head, down the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the upper back, lower back, the chest, the belly, the lowest regions of the back and the pelvis, the abdomen, moving down into the hips and the legs, down into the feet, and all the way to the tips of the toes. And really bringing your breath and your sense of awareness into your entire body as a whole. Really feeling any sense here. Could be aliveness or a feeling of temperature change or any kind of tingling. And again, not trying to create anything, but just noticing if something is here. Being curious and becoming aware of how your body is in this moment. And also, if you're having any thoughts or emotions, and if your mind has wandered to thoughts of the past or the future, bringing your attention back into this moment, into the body. Seeing what it's like to really be present in this moment. Allowing yourself this time to listen and feel and know. And really just accepting whatever it is in this moment. Knowing that there's a difference between wanting or striving for a certain outcome versus just letting things be with kindness and love and acceptance. And as we start to slowly bring ourselves out of the meditation, really taking a last moment to be present with the body and with the breath. Perhaps feeling those contact points again underneath that might be connecting you with the ground or the floor. And starting to sense the change now back into the space where you are. Perhaps gently moving the body slowly. Maybe wiggling the toes or rotating the ankles a bit, circles with the feet. And then perhaps something similar with the hands, wiggling the fingers and thumb. Maybe opening and closing or doing some wrist circles. And as you're doing this, bringing yourself back into the current space. You might even rock a little bit side to side. And choosing when to gently and slowly open your eyes. Perhaps looking around the room. Noticing where you are. And you can slowly bring yourself into a seated position, and you may wish to roll to one side for a moment, listening to what you need in this time. Gently, slowly, bringing yourself back into this space. And when you feel ready, sitting up, and taking a moment to really notice how you're feeling in this time, at the end of this meditation. And taking a moment for any final stretch you may wish to do. Bringing your arms up over your head or doing a very gentle twist. Taking note of your breath. And a final moment of stillness as we bring this meditation to a close.